What a weekend we have got in store. The racing is truly outstanding, both here and in Ireland. Grade ones and twos on these shores, grade ones are over in Ireland as well. The big guns are well and truly coming out in force. We've got 10 races on ITV to look forward to. These boys, Joel and Frankie, are going to point us in the direction of hopefully a few winners. I'm going to start with Frankie though. Where do we start? Because what are you looking forward to most this weekend?
Betfair Chase, I think it's got to be. It looks a belter. Really, really good field. Lots of different angles, reasons why each horse could win. I'm really looking forward to that. And then I'm also looking forward to the Morgiana, see how the Willie Mullins Morgiana hurdle turns out and how the pecking order is ranked between State Man, Lossiemouth, and then also the John Durkan. So two over in Ireland, probably. Again, see how the big guns sort themselves out, particularly Factor File and Galloping the Champs. I'm excited for the Mullins lot, the top of the Mullins lot, to go against each other. And it'd be a tough job being Paul Townend this weekend, wouldn't it? Because, I mean, who do you pick and who is the best? We'll find out. I don't think they're betting races, but they're certainly watching.
Road to Cheltenham next week will be interesting because there'll be a lot of change this week. Joel's enjoying his black currant. What are you looking forward to as well else this weekend?
It's the first time I've not been to the Betfair Chase for a long time, but I like to do charity gigs. I get paid for them, but I like to do charity gigs, so it clashes this weekend, so I'm not going. And last year, like we always say, stood next to Venetia Williams that day. Roper guy won. I love it how she stands in the crowd. It's like she's like no disrespect, but she's like an old woman who's lost. Everybody else has got connections around them, and she's just no Rich Richie there, whatever, but she just goes and stands and watches it with a punter. So you got a load of Manx, a load of Scousers there, a load of people from Warrington. It's like, it's Venetia Williams here. What you're thinking? Well, I think he'll run well. But no, really looking forward to it. And as Frankie says, the Willie Mullins benefit and also the bumper at Punchestown with a Willie Mullins connection, but not a Willie Mullins horse.
Ooh, is that bumpity bumping on?
He has been on.
All right.
He's been on.
I forgot to pass on that one that was smashed last week.
Thanks.
Yeah, cheers, Joe.
Yeah. Anyway, the after timing starts now. Have a brilliant day.
Right, okay. Stay tuned for that one then. I'll keep them tuned. Yeah, I think Venetia Williams may have a bit of an interesting theme alongside this show. Right, 10 races to look at then. I'll start with you, Joel, as you're not going to be at Haydock this weekend. We've got 5 races to look forward to. Starting with the 115, a 2.25 mile handicap hurdle, and this is competitive. Word of warning, a lot of rain forecast to come across in the early hours of Saturday morning, estimating it could be around about 20 mil. So bear that in mind when it comes to Haydock this weekend. Right, start with the 115, Joel.
Yeah, new clerk of the course. It still will be good to firm. Heavy in places. A really strong bet for me in this race. Josh the Boss for Nigel Twiston-Davis. Do you two, because I know you don't do any research, are you aware of the jockey, the amateur jockey, claiming the 7, Mr. Jamie Nailed?
Yeah. Started riding when he was, what, 17?
Yeah, what else do you know? Matt knows he's ready. What do you know about him, Matt?
The owner's son.
Yeah, what else?
He's a
ginger.
Former footballer. He's an Everton fan, but he was on the books at Liverpool as a kid. And he describes himself as a failed footballer. And he's a good lad. He's a really, really good lad. And you've got to catch this horse fresh. Last October and November, won at Warwick by 19 lengths. That was the maiden hurdle. Then in November, he went on to beat Magical King and Manila Double by 2 lengths. Look, I really, really like this horse. The seasonal debut, October 12th at Chepstow. 4-length win over, is it Doyen Quest of the Skelton?
Yeah. Silver
and
trophy.
And that won, 5 lengths at Cheltenham. I think because people are going, Mr. Who? Who's this jockey? And Nigel and his kid Willie are flying. I thought this was standout value for the weekend. It ticked every single box for me. And when you first look at that card, you go, oh, God, this is hard. But this is up there with best bets of the weekend.
Interesting, right off the bat. Right, Frankie, follow that.
Well, it's going to be a common theme. Obviously, it's Thursday night now, and trying to predict the weather's quite tricky. I really like Steel Alley, but he has no form on soft ground. He got two bits of form boost from Cheltenham. He finished behind Doyen Quest, giving him plenty of weight. Obviously, Joel just mentioned Doyen Quest bolted up at Cheltenham. And then also he was just behind Be Aware, who ran a cracker in the Greatwood. So he looks good. Stepping up in trip looks like it'll be a plus because he was finishing strongly last time out. I just will probably have to wait till the morning and see what the ground says. If it does belt it down, I think I'd agree with Joel. Josh the Boss does have form on softer ground and does tie in similarly with Doyen Quest, who, stay tuned, we might be back in again this weekend.
Ooh, interesting. I'm against him later on. I'll come to that because the form lines are actually very interesting, quite clear with this. So, right, we'll come to that shortly because in the meantime, we've got this graduation chase as well to look forward to. 150. Frankie, I want to start with you. Am I missing a trick here? Does Iroko look a big price?
I think he does. I'm really frustrated Trelawn's not been put in a handicap. I don't know if we all fancied him for Cheltenham last year, but he fell at the first, didn't he, or the second? He was a good bet of mine at Cheltenham. It was really disappointing. I think he's well handicapped. I think he's better than 144, but he's not in a handicap, annoyingly. So it was on my radar, and yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I came around to. Iroko's, however, what, £8 clear on ratings. He's put in good performances, raced in better races last year, and is drifting out to a very backable price, which I don't quite know why, but I'm looking at kind of 7-4. Could tease me in, definitely.
Yeah, I thought he was a big price. I mean, Hillcrest on the comeback trail. I mean, he was obviously thought very highly of. Henry Dale in Santos and Davis saw some of the winners' enclosure this week, so I'd love to see him back. And we do like
only one thing that Trelawn did get me interested in, but I suppose this season didn't pan out how you'd like it to. But he was pretty close to match with Grey Dawning and Ginny's Destiny at the start of the year. He just didn't kind of kick on from there, did he? But
that form is hanging a chance away at Wetherby.
Yeah, going to the car park, having a pint, and then coming back to try and finish the race.
Yeah, having a pint of circuit early. Yeah, I just thought Iroko. I mean, they're talking about the Grand National for him later on in the season. Surely be winning this, Joel.
And I'm not being corporate here, and I mean this. It's a race that I wouldn't have a bet in. I'll tell you why in a minute. It's safe for gambling week, and it is races like this where you don't need to have a bet, because I would have smashed into Iroko here. And doing the research again, only had 3 runs over fences, and the trainer has spoken quite openly and honestly, along with the owner JP McManus, that Grand National is the target, and they're working back, and they want to get a few runs in without affecting the mark. And I can just see this prize getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the mugs going in there and whatever. Look, hack up by 10 lengths, because that's what I originally thought until I was put off by the words essentially saying, look, we what's it off 1-5, 1-2, something like that.
5-2.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, if he's fourth and you look back afterwards, you go, that's the reason why. Because look, this is all, potentially is the best horse in this race by quite a way. Why we're getting almost 2-1, and on the day it probably won't go off favourite. So I wasn't sitting on the fence. I just wasn't having a bet. Iroko can go and win for me, and I missed out on that one. But just with those comments and the colours and everything else, it's not for me.
I'm a bit like that, waving the white flag.
Boring.
No, it's not boring. I've just gone in with a 10-1, one of the best bets of the weekend, and now I'm going the favourite here. I really liked it, but when the trainer says essentially we might not be trying, I'll go, all right then, I'll go and have a pint instead.
Right, there's a cracker at 2:30. It's a staying hurdle. There's 16 runners, a big betting race. Could you find something for us in this, Joel?
No, like I say, I'm not. Doyen Quest. Look, Doyen Quest, and if we go back to Josh the Boss, we put up before, beating Doyen Quest 4 lengths on debut. Look, I think this weekend, this is going to be my double, Josh the Boss and Doyen Quest. The form, ties together. It's sort of shit or bust for me. Came out last weekend. Was it last weekend? And beat Gal Road 5 lengths at Cheltenham. I think that's a lovely little double this weekend. Josh the Boss and Doyen Quest, and I think you'll know your fate straight away. and see what that form stacks up to. But Doyen Quest, Frankie mentioned it earlier. Are you in or are you out?
I think I am. The Scoutons have got, what, 3 in this? I find it fascinating that they wouldn't stick a claimer on Doyen Quest, even though he's not top weight out of them, but he carries more weight than Catch Derry.
Derry.
Catch Derry. So I think
Catch him now!
they retain a fair bit of faith in his ability, and he did absolutely hack up at Cheltenham. 130 could still be lenient. So I like him. I think he might go and win again. If you were value hunting, potentially Zane Knights might be worth a little each way play.
Agree.
Third, in the October Cheltenham race, which Gower Road was second in, and then Gower Road kind of confirmed that ability somewhat by finishing second again in the November edition that Doyen Quest won. So I think as like a benchmark, because he carried top weight both times, Gower Road, finishing behind him and not being put up for it like Doyen Quest has, gives Zane Knights potentially an each way play into the places, but there has to be one better than him. I think, you kind of know where he's at. He's just carries a reasonable weight and has shown that he stays in a decent standard.
You like Josh the Boss? You like Doyen Quest?
Come on then. Who else is?
Who else? Come on.
Have you seen Patriotic down the bottom? Really caught my eye. 5th behind that pair in the Silver Trophy. 1 at Fastorslow, over 2.5 on heavy ground. So if the rains come, throws him in the mix as well. Isabel Williams has ridden him on every start. He's only had 6 starts. So he's been run predominantly at Fastorslow. Really did catch me behind the Silver Trophy, sticking on and then never really getting competitive. Up to 3 mile will be absolutely fine. He's £6 better off with Doyen Quest, who obviously is £5 well in. And I just think at 12, 14 to 1, I think he's a great each way play. Because wherever Doyen Quest finishes, this one should not be too far behind.
Joel's got a funny look on his face.
No, it's not funny look. I love Izzy Williams. She always looks like I mentioned it before. I love the way she rides because she always looks like she's not trying. She's out the back, but she's a really quiet rider and really good. The problem for me is the stable form of Evan Williams. When was the last time he had a winner? Just a year will do. Just not a decade.
It wasn't at Warwick, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's it right. I think is it 1 winner from 33 in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, he had a win. They had that thing at Hereford which bolted up.
Yeah, but everything else. I mean,
it was a big drifter actually, so it wasn't well, but it was a big drifter. But yeah, there is that. There is that. Maybe that's factored into the price. But how many else have actually had gilt-edged chances?
Well, it's been backed anyway.
Yeah,
it's an £100,000 race.
Money's down.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. I'm glad you mentioned the form thing because we'll come to that in a bit because we're going to talk about the big one. It is the Betfair Chase, the first grade one in this country. Obviously, depending on how the rains come, Royal Pagaille is going to be very popular, last year's winner, if it does book it down. But you mentioned trainers out of form. The last Venetia winner was 3 weeks ago at Ascot. The same horse actually runs. We'll talk about it a little later on. Her horses have been running terribly. 9% run to form, according to the Racing Post. So that's going to be a concern for Royal Pagaille. Obviously, Grey Doyen, I looked at this earlier on the week and I thought he was a real good thing. But if the rain that's coming, it's just starting to put me off his first start. If the Gold Cup's the plan, is he going to be cherry ripe? Does he want a slog? Because theoretically, Frankie, this could turn into a slog.
It could, yeah. And when we did have a look on our Road to Cheltenham show, I was kind of quick, or maybe lazy is the word, to say Grey Dawning might win this. But when you go back and have a look, for all that I love Grey Dawning, and that's probably why I was quick to say that he could go and win this, because he was good to me last year. But beating the likes of Apple Away or Gaia de Manila at the wrong trip or Ginny's Destiny, like Ginny's Destiny is not in the same realm as Ahoy Senor or Royal Pagaille or Capodanno even. I think he's got a hell of a lot to prove. I think he's a poor favourite. As I started to have a bit of a deeper look. Don't get me wrong, the Scoutons are in flying form. They're getting serious improvement out of all their horses. They've said that this kind of tests him as a potential Gold Cup horse. So they think a lot of him, which you can't ignore. But he's got to prove it. And I'm not brave enough to back him until he's proved it. So I'm certainly having a look for a bit of value with those that have performed at the top level. I think Ahoy Senor has probably put in the best performances like at Aintree putting Jerry Colombe close is a really good bit of form. You look at him, he goes on pretty much any ground. His best form's at 3 miles and a furlong. I think he's pretty strong. And if it doesn't rain, Hewitt has to have a chance. Like pushing Envoy Allen at Down Royal. Envoy Allen loves Down Royal. Pushing him close there. And then, even going back to his King George form, even going back to when he was 3 lengths behind Fastorslow. When he gets his conditions, he's like right up there. I don't know why he still hasn't earned the rep. He still is talked about as an underdog. He's not, provided conditions are fine. So for me, the weatherman's out. If it's good or good to soft, it's Hewitt each way. If it's soft, it's Ahoy Senor. If it's heavy, it's Royal Pagaille.
Heavy, Lydia, heavy.
But no, I think they're both cracking each way bets. I'm not back. I'm absolutely not backing the favourite. Great if he goes and does it, but
I think by the end of the season, he will end up being the best horse in it. I think he's the one who could have Gold Cup aspirations out of all these. He's most likely to challenge the market leaders. Joel, if you say the French horse.
I'm putting up all the French horses. No, I mean, I watched this morning, 29 lengths behind Ile-Francais, Ahoy in September. I watched all his rides. He's always out the back, and the jockey's not doing anything when asking for an effort. So either, I mean, oh God, I've watched so much French racing on these. French racing, a lot of it, the jockeyship is so bad. I know it's like a thing over the years, like catching cab. The jocks are awful. Like the two best jocks are Felix de Giles and James Reedley. Well, and Bridie Frost now. The French jocks are awful. They can't present a horse at an obstacle, right? I've no judge of pace or anything. Let's just have a go at him. But he was sitting out the back every single time. And it's this jockey this time is it Gabon Manifur or whatever. He's no
Junior, yeah.
Yeah, he's no good. Was it Johnny?
It's a good job. No, we haven't got any French viewers, isn't it?
No. Well, was it Johnny Shahan last time he came over when I put up Gold Tweet 40-1, right? And obliged. Look, I was looking at it, and this race for me, it's really a one to watch. I love Grey Dawning, as Frankie said. We can tick all the boxes and all that. Royal Pagaille last year, a surprise. Brave Man's Game still around 16-1. You're going, I know Grand National is the target now, but you're going, they can run a place. It's a really, really good race. But I thought, look, outsider of the field, Gold Tweet.
You are actually back in Gold Tweet after all that.
God. Yeah, because I don't know if they're messing about with it. The jockeys are no good, but I don't know why you come over here because a claimer in France is worth 14 times the prize money of a Grade 1 over here. But I'd go Gold Tweet. They've got nothing to lose, and you've got Johnny Chantel or whatever he's called. No, Gabi Aboglahor on board, and we'll just see how he gets on. But Gold Tweet this weekend for me. Let's have a laugh. It's safe for gambling week. Have me 2 quid. For a laugh.
So let me just get this right. Sorry, you've been through the runners and then you've slagged off all the French jockeys, saying they're rubbish, and all the best jockeys in France are ex-British or ex-British based, but you've gone for the French runner.
With a French jockey on board.
The French jockey on board.
Yeah, right. Great Dawning, ground dependent. Royal Pagaille, Charlie Joyce just coming back from his concussion. Ahoy Senor, Derek Foote should be locked up for that last ride. Hewitt, each way bet. Limerick Lace. Won't be fit. Brave Man's Game. Not the next coming of Denman. Capadamo. That wins. Let's all go home. Along with the real whacker. So Gold Tweet. It's French. It'll drift out. Look, when we get back next week, I'll be sitting there with me brand new platinum shoes going, look at those. Gold Tweet has purchased those for me.
All right.
They're silver, they're not gold.
Move on.
Have you got any sense to add to that, Matt? You bring it back.
I said like you, beginning of the week, I just thought Grey Dawning, and I thought 7-4, 2-1. I just thought you would take the world to beat him, but now with the weather forecast, and is he going to be absolutely bang on for this? And he won't want to slog if you do get the 20 mil. He's not going to want to slog first time out. So, but that also rules out Hewitt. It brings Royal Pagaille into it. What about stable form? And it probably brings the mare Limerick Lace into it. He said she won't be fit, but she'll love the ground. And surely he's not going to bring her over. Gavin Cromwell will bring her over for this half cock. So
I know, but he's doing that though.
She'd be an each-way player.
No, Cromwell's bringing them over at the minute, and they're doing nothing. I'm falling into that trap of going, it's got a row of duck eggs, like the old Tony Martin thing from 10, 20 years ago, where you see, oh, he's bringing one over, and everyone lumps on it, and it just has a tootle out the back, so it's actually no good. So, or not
Remember
fit.
the gamble on her on the national? Remember the gamble?
Yeah, I remember the gamble. Did it come off?
No. Anyway, the last Haydock. Same track and trail. If the rains come, this race will make the Velka Beach look like the Nunthorpe. It's going to take forever to run. 11 runners. I'm going to start with Joel because we're talking about Venetia, your old mate, Fontaine-Calange.
Nah, I'm done with that horse. It's another one for me. I'm done with it. And as you said, what was Venetia's? Well, God, she's not a winner in the last couple of weeks. Actually, I know Charlie's been off with his head, his concussion. I thought Milos here for the Skeltons won twice in November 2022 when it switched from Tim Vaughan to Dan Skelton. Hasn't won since. Seasonal debut at Cheltenham last month, was prominent, and then just fell back. Was beaten 25, 30 lengths or whatever it was. Just one of those beaten or just very French style. But yeah, Milos. And it has been backed as well, around 6 or 7 to 1. I thought it was a good shout because, like we say every week, they just get a little bit more out of them. And I'm not making jokes about magic carrots or whatever. I really do think that Dan Skelton is that good that he ekes a little bit more out of them when the hand breaks off.
Frankie?
I agree. I'm backing this horse till it wins. I think it's well handicapped over hurdles and over fences, and I'm going to keep backing it until it wins, and then I'll keep backing it until it doesn't win.
Simple. Unanimous for Milos. Right, that's Haydock wrapped up then. Let's look at the big one at Punchestown on Saturday. Is the Morgiana. You mentioned the Buddy Mullins benefit. The champion hurdler State Man taking on the top filly Lossy Mouth. Paddy Mullins on board that. Paul Tannen obviously on State Man. Can't go for champion hurdler. And then Gordon Elliott's got brighter days ahead. Who's probably workmanlike when winning it down roll, but does have that fitness edge. Could that be key, or does this go to Clisson, Frankie?
I think it goes to Clisson with State Man, and I would have brighter days ahead over Lossy Mouth because of the fitness edge and maybe just a bit of toughness as well. Like, I don't know, I'm cautious to say that Lossy Mouth is going to get stuffed because you can make yourself look stupid if she goes and bolts up. But she's beaten, lots of 140 rated mares, and she's looked really, really classy doing it. And she jumps hurdles really well, which obviously plays into what she might do against better opposition. But she hasn't been tested, or at least not for a long time. And this is deeper waters. Brighter days ahead, obviously was beat at Cheltenham unexpectedly, but then has gone on to race in open grade ones and perform pretty well. And then, as like you said, has already won this season. So I'd have brighter days ahead over Lossy Mouth, and I think State Man should win again. I'm not like all over him. I don't think he's an absolute cert, but as ridiculous as this sounds, when I first looked at it, it might be a bit of a non-betting race. I might back State Man and then back brighter days ahead as a bet to nothing each way. I think that might be how it plays out.
Absolute fifth. Was a long-winded answer. Save the odds-on favourite, wasn't it, Joel?
It very much was. I mean, State Man has been beaten by one horse.
And I'm going to lay Lossy Mouth.
Yeah. State Man's been beaten by one horse and fell on its debut in that maiden hurdle. I think it was 8-13 on its debut. It was at Leopardstown or where it was. Only been beaten by Constitution Hill, who was blowing out of his arse in that gallop the other day, to quote our good friend, the Right Honourable Frankie. I think State Man turns up, does it? Is it 3 in a row? And he's probably just thinking, look, if Constitution Hill wasn't around, I'd be the daddy. And the thing is, we haven't seen Constitution Hill since last year, and State Man is still not the daddy. State Man, 4 to 5. I think it's a gift from the gods this weekend. 4 to 5. Yes, please. How much can I have?
Okay, gift from the gods. We'll talk about Constitution Hill. Bob on the road to Cheltenham early next week. Obviously, he makes his reappearance. We'll talk about what Frankie said about that Newbury gallop. Right.
The technical term.
Hey?
That was the technical term.
What's the technical term? Yeah. Right. Ascot, 130. You think State Man's a penalty kick? Is it the same for Pic D'Orhy, Joel?
It is, yeah. I won it by 14 lengths last year. Jello has been taken out. Probably still crying over the ride last time in that JPR1 race. Brilliant around Ascot. It would have made it a test, but I think that's your double, isn't it? It's State Man, and then that's straight to Ascot. I think it's. I've got not a lot else to say. I can't find you each way value for no apparent reason. I just think it's not even a penalty kick. I think I put in the group early on. It's a penalty kick with a not very good goalkeeper, or
You didn't
something
put on
along
that.
those lines.
It's very different words to that. We won't go there. Do you agree, Frankie?
Yeah, that's the double, isn't it? There you are. That's your muggy double for the weekend. They should both win.
Okay, say play devil's advocate. They were both 4 to 6. Which one would you fancy the most? They're the same price. You can only back one.
Pic D'Orhy.
Yeah, Pic D'Orhy.
Pic D'Orhy.
They both win. They're both going to win, but Pic D'Orhy.
All right, 245 then. Ascot Hurdle. Now, this is interesting because I know, Frankie, we'll start with you because you were just saying about Brighter Days Ahead and only ever beaten once, and you like her. She's only ever beaten once by Golden Ace, and yet she's rated pounds inferior. I mean, around about 2 to 1, getting weight off the rest. Why does this look? Does this look a golden opportunity? Or again, am I missing something?
This is one of those races where you don't back it because you feel like it's too good to be true. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, like, if you take her form from Cheltenham at face value and you follow what Brighter Days Ahead has gone to do, and you think they both ran their race that day, she looks a very good price. But something, I don't know. Am I not giving Jeremy Scott credit? Is that the reason? Or would I be right in thinking maybe Brighter Days Ahead slightly underperformed at Cheltenham and it didn't happen for her that day? I don't know. Something is not letting me back her. You know what I was quite interested in? Lucky Place.
I knew you were going to say that.
And Joel will be loving this, won't he? Because 4 lengths by Langadan giving £4 or getting £4. The masterfully handicapped Langadan, who then went on to push Impere Pass within a whisker and could have been awarded the race. That's proper grade 1 form, isn't it? Impere Pass coming into a race like this. Who knows how much improvement Lucky Place has had over the summer, and the Henderson yard wasn't even in that good form. So that's where I'm looking. That is where I'm looking. If it's too good to be true, you know what they say.
Well, they met on debut, didn't they? Golden Ace beat Lucky Place by half a length, getting a stone on that occasion. So obviously his Lucky Place is a lot better off at the weights for that half a length. But we know what Golden Ace did subsequently after that, and obviously improved massively. Actually rated the better horse now. But if you go back to that debut effort on paper, Joel, then Lucky Place is the one to be on.
Yeah, it's probably my next bets for the weekend. Look, Taunton last season, you said Lucky Ace, Golden Ace was carrying 10-12 and Lucky Place 11-12. There's half a length between them. This time, 10-10 for Golden Ace, and Lucky Place got, what, £4 more or whatever. One's 9 to 4 this morning, one's 9 to 1. I know where I was going. So that was one of the better bets of the weekend. And you're talking about you keep backing horses until they win. It's bloody Colonel Mustard. Colonel Mustard. I love this horse. Not won for 3 years. I've got it on my wall chart up there. Galway, October 2021, maiden hurdle. I am, and it's how they get you in. It's how they get you in. Colonel Mustard. That big double with Mr. Coffee must be coming soon. But lucky place over the weekend. And I think, like Frankie said, when all Hendo's horses at Cheltenham were really like dogs and drains, this ran really, really well. So, you've got to upgrade that form. I don't think there's a lot in it. And like I said, this morning, 9 to 4, 9 to 1. I'll have that 9 to 1. I think it's gone now, to be fair. I think it's about 7 or 8 to 1.
Yeah, on that form, obviously, is definitely worth of interest. But I actually think Golden Ace, I think she's pretty special. And I think she may be winning this one this weekend as long as she's race fit. Right, the 320 then, the Hurst Park Handicap, shares plenty of history in this contest. For me, I think this is one of the best bets of the weekend, but I'm going to go last. I'm going to start with Joel.
I reckon I can guess what yours is.
What? Go on then.
No, we don't want to ruin it. No, guess what Matt's is, not yours, Joel.
All right, okay.
I've got no idea what you're backing.
Right. Triple Trade. Third in this last year. Boot Hill was in that race, obviously. Won it. Has Boot Hill improved, or has John Bon? I was looking at. I'll be honest with you. It's a race that I didn't have a lot of interest in, and the football will be on at this point. Frère d'Ami for what's his face, ex-Skelton horse. Ran at Ascot 3 weeks ago, was held up. There's an amateur on board, Heidi Palin. She was claiming the 7, was out the back. Never did anything. So I thought there was setting this up for something, but got rid of the horse. So I'll watch it, and I'd probably split my stakes on Frère d'Ami and triple trade, but not massive on this at all. But Matthew, we're still waiting after Frankie.
Go on, Frankie.
I was going to guess you'd be back in triple trade, Matt, but you didn't get that excited when Joel piped up. So maybe the French horse, is that your nap?
I don't think they're not due that much rain, I think, until after the racing. So, and all that's form's been on bottomless ground. So
yeah,
that'd be the one that I'd be worried about. That'd be one I'd be worried about.
Triple trade was my shout anyway. And similarly, I was finding it hard to get that excited about anything in this, but just thought he was overpriced. Tizard's been doing pretty well at targeting horses in handicaps. He's down to a couple of pounds lower than what he was third in this last year. Similar sort of event. As an each way bet, you'd hope you'd be in the frame.
I think Martator won so easily last time. I know it's officially length and 3/4, but he made a mistake. I think it was 4 out, 3 out, and he still came back on the bridle. And he made another mistake, and he came back on the bridle, and he won with his head in his chest. He went up £6. Ned Fox is now claiming 5. Now I said this at the top of the show about Venetia Williams' form. That is a concern because this, I think, was her last winner 3 weeks ago, but he won that a real competitive 2-mile handicap chase. Cop Mask and Fred Arms were behind. They have got, for me, no chance of reversing the form because he had so much in hand. It was a 4-timer. He has gone up the grades, granted, but effectively he's only off £1 higher here. And I haven't seen a horse win a 2-mile chase that easy. Probably since San Spirit won at Aintree. That's probably going to be thrown into the mix. Cobden back on board, yeah. But honestly, I thought he was won that so easily. What was such a competitive race, and the way he actually won, I was thinking this could be one that continues to rise the grades and could be in graded company. It was that easy. I am worried about the stable form, but maybe that's where you're getting around about 11 to 4, 3 to 1 because that evidence I thought it'd be a 6 to 4 shot.
Well, you're getting that price, I think, because Charlie Deutsch is not on the stable form. No disrespect to Ned Fox, but would you have Ned Fox taking off 5 or Charlie Deutsch? I'll give you the choice.
Yeah, preferably on Charlie Deutsch. Don't forget, he's gone up 5, so effectively you got Ned Fox off. Then this horse is just £1 higher, and he would have won that with an extra £10. He won it for me. That I know he's length and 3/4, but that masked it, and I think he would have won it so easily. So I think he's still really well handicapped.
No, I completely agree. But the 2 things that put me off with the stable form, and I'm not tipped any Venetias this week, and normally I'm all over.
No, it is a worry,
and that's the worry. But also, if we're bashing jockeys, let's be nice about them. I think it's a thing of beauty watching Charlie Deutsch.
Yeah, he's the best, probably one of the best.
That rider of fences, the best jockey.
Yeah.
It's a thing of beauty for me, and I think that's why he's got that horse into that rhythm. Always ridden the horse, and that was another one for me. Why he's not 6 to 4? I think if Charlie was there, and the stable was slightly better in form, it would be 5 to 4, 6 to 4 shot.
I just think Sainsbury was third in the Howland Gold Cup, and I was very impressed with Aintree, but I'm not sure how much he's got left in his mark. Harper's Brook obviously pulled up in the Grand Sefton, maybe not his gig, and we know he's talented, but you can't trust him. Marvelous Cyrus, I think the rain's going to come. Triple Trade is a horse that I like, but I thought he'd run a lot better at Cheltenham last time. I was disappointing. I can't have Cop Mask or Fred reversing the form with Martatar. I don't think the bottom one is good enough, and that leaves Prince Quali on the comeback his seasonal debut, so probably come on for it off a high marker as well. Harry Kimber did give one a good ride on Thursday at Wincanton. So yeah, he'd be my bet of the weekend. He really would. I say I'm worried about the stable form, but I think you're getting a bigger price because of it. And I say I've not seen many horses win a competitive race, supposedly competitive race, as easy as he did last time out. In fact, I've chucked myself into many bets here. Golden Ace, Iroko. There's the Trixie.
I was going to say that the Matt Hulmes drifting double, Martin and Iroko, they're both on the Golden Ace is on the drift as well, actually.
Oh, yeah. It is a worry. It is a worry. Never let the price put you off, though. Right, boys, best bets for you guys. I think, Joel, is it Sticking with the early one?
Yeah, 100%. Everybody's got a friend called Josh, and it is Josh the boss. Josh the boss in the 115. We've got a friend called Josh who works for Betfred. Makes a really, really crap cup of tea, but he's a top man. So yeah, Josh the boss for me in the 115 at Haydock.
He's not the boss, though.
No, you are, Daddy.
Frankie?
You've forgotten something.
Oh, I have.
My best bet comes
Give
on
me your
Sunday.
best bet, or is the best bet in this?
Gonna come on Sunday in the John Durkham. Fast or slow?
I did forget
Yes.
that. Is it the best bet then?
Yeah, fast
All
or
right,
slow.
we'll talk about it then. Let's talk about it here then. Let's not come back to it. Okay, then, yeah. Apologies. Yeah, Sunday, the John Durkin. Again, we'll have obviously Gold Cup clues at 3:05 at Haydock, and then we get more at Punchestown on Sunday afternoon when Galloping Day Champ is in action, taking on Factor File, we hope, because we're looking at this before declarations. But it's your old mates, Fast or Slow boys. Are we unanimous this weekend?
Surely to God. My thinking here is Factor File is obviously very, very talented, but he's the younger horse who has more improvement in him. And why go too hard on him too early in the season when, he is still maturing and the Gold Cup's going to be the target at the end of the year. So although he is very, very talented, I just feel like maybe not tuned up quite as much as Fast or Slow, who won this race last year. They know how to get him to win this race and how to train him for it. They can do exactly the same thing again. And then I can't have Galloping the Champs beating Fast or Slow round Punchestown in this race over the trip. So they're all superstars. But for this particular race, I think Fast or Slow is a huge price. Huge price.
And jockey upgrade. Yes or no? Who'd have thought Derek O'Connor, an amateur. Derek O'Connor's mustard. He's brilliant.
Is he riding him?
Yeah.
Yeah, JJ Slevin's injured, isn't he? So Derek O'Connor's getting the ride.
I thought that was a positive for me. Well, I suppose because it was the last leg of my sixth timer when he fell off in the Gold Cup. So, so I'm quite happy about that, I'll be honest with you.
Do you think he'll win though, Joe? Do you think he'll win?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I love it for the weekend.
All right, unanimous, Fast or Slow then. So that's your best bet as well, Frankie?
Yep.
Best bet of the weekend, Fast or Slow.
Yes, it's sounding dangerous, this podcast, isn't it? We've answered quite a lot.
I know, yeah.
That's good though.
Yeah. Safe again.
I've not even got the bumper horse yet. I'm just going through.
Oh God!
Is this Saturday or Sunday?
I think it's Sunday. I honestly can't find the message. It's Paddy Mullins is riding it. It only cost about $7,500. It's not running a point to point or anything. 4-year-old. Is it Dennis Quealy who trains it?
Jamada.
That's the one. I'm like, but it's like a Barry Dennis thing in here. I do everything old school. I've got papers everywhere, dolls. I've got, mats with my face on them. Available now at joelshop.com. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a Paddy Mullins ridden horse. He's gone into the trouble of booking Paddy Mullins. It's only a cheap purchase, and has never been seen in public whatsoever. But I was given it, nothing else about it.
Is it because Paddy's on it, or is it something else that's?
No, they really like it.
The interesting point is obviously Willie hasn't got one in it. Have they said Willie don't put one in it because of this, or is it just Willie's got nothing for it, so Paddy's free to ride?
I'll be honest with you. It's a 16-word message. Have a look at this have a look at this at the weekend. This is before they booked Paddy for it as well. They didn't put anybody on it.
Surely Willie would have had something for this bumper.
Well, surely. Well, I don't know the way it works, but also Willie's not short of a few quid, so he's hardly gone, well, listen there, lads. I'll take mine out of this. I don't know. I don't know what goes on, but look, I'm just putting it out there for you. And also on Monday, I will let you know, and you can ridicule me in comments, and you two can absolutely batter me. I had 20 quid on a horse in the champion hurdle today at 25-1. Tune in Monday. Road to Cheltenham.
Cannot wait for that.
Absurd.
Yeah, let's Constitution Hill. 25-1.
After we got Toby blown out of his arse.
Yeah, that's the one.
Right, yes. Just join us next week then, yeah, because the Road Challenge, there's going to be so much to talk about from Haydock, Ascot, and Punchestown this weekend. So it'll be a bumper show because massive festival clues upcoming as most of these big guns make their seasonal returns. Right, cheers to the boys. Hopefully we're back on Monday and we've won a few quid as well. And whenever you're back in this weekend, the very best of luck.